Let's go. 3, 2. Oh. that one is listed first. All right, let's try it again.
It should be.
Yeah. I mean, what if it was our new theme song? Who would stop us?
I mean, who could stop us? Grayson?
Who could stop us? What is it? Owned? It's owned by this small company called Microsoft.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are those guys? All right.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. It is Quest,
the adventure game podcast.
Oh, welcome in. Hi, everybody. How you doing, Jess?
I am doing fantastic.
Is that a thing? Is that like is that something you coined, or is that like from you know,
it is
Homestar
from
Runner or something?
For some reason, it is a line from Saturday Night Live, of all things, that stuck in my head years ago. It's a clip where Ben Affleck on SNL is playing like a Leonard Maltin type film reviewer who can never get his puns and wordplay correct. So he's reviewing the theatrical re-release of Phantasmagoria, Fantasia, Disney's Fantasia. And in reviewing it, he says, folks, Fantasia is fantastic. Just failing to get the obvious wordplay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I don't know why that stuck with me, but I feel fantastic. How are you, Ben?
I just Googled Fantastic, and the first the first thing to show up there is not SNL, and I love it when this happens. I love it when this happens. It is an episode of this thing called The Totally Rad Show. Do you know what The Totally Rad Show is?
No.
I have no idea what this is. This looks like... Is this like a YouTube show?
I don't know.
What the fuck is The Totally Rad? Was this on... It says it was a TV series. Was this on G4? The fuck is this?
It must have been.
It was a podcast.
No, come on.
You
Podcasts
see, all right.
are not real media.
And this is what I was... Maybe this is a great... If you're listening to this and you loved it, you know, whatever. But this is... I have something of a contempt for, like, if you go and you roll back and you put your like you list your podcast in IMDb, that's not...
No. I mean, this will be in the Smithsonian someday.
Yes,
I don't want it in the Library of Congress.
Yes,
I don't want it on IMDb. That's a trash site.
The IMDb is for movies and I guess also television now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been like television for like 20 years. Like, it's not. It's not.
Yeah. And Ben, before we get too serious about this, I do need to walk back and issue a correction before we get a bunch of emails. I think I meant a Gene Shalit style movie reviewer, not a Leonard Maltin. That's the Gene Shalit is where you would get terrible wordplay.
There's a bit more of, I think, a more fun impression. Like, he was kind of a more inimitable man. I think he's still
more
around.
cartoonish.
I think he's still alive. Let's see.
Yes.
Gene
R.I.P. if not.
He is... Gene Shalit is... I'm loading up... Yeah. Gene Shalit is... He is, according to Wikipedia, as of this recording, and I'll note, this is coming out pretty quickly after the recording, but once I say his age, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why he still put in the caveat. As of this recording, Gene Shalit is alive, and he is 99 years old.
Wow. Great job, Gene Shalit.
Gene.
Al Roker is just licking his chops, waiting for that 100th birthday so he can announce it live on the Today Show.
He was born. He just had his birthday, March 25th, 1926.
Wow.
He is.
Wow.
He's
He's going to live to see 2 Great Depressions.
Yeah.
Congrats,
God willing, one more. Now, all right. But I'm also Fantastic Great. I, of course, pulled that from the Totally Awesome Show or whatever the fuck that podcast.
Yeah, you are
Totally
wearing
Rad
their merch right now.
The Totally Rad Show was a video podcast produced by Team Awesome LLC.
Ugh. It's exhausting already.
I bet these guys. I bet we'd love all these guys. I bet they're
probably would. They're
I bet
just
they're
like
all
us.
Nice. I bet they're all sweethearts.
Like we'd be introduced to
them.
Oh
no!
and
I
they'd be
just
like,
scrolled down in his Wikipedia and there's a controversy tab. No, I didn't see it.
Oh no. No, we'd
Well,
be
maybe.
like, oh, I used to love King's Quest, and we'd be like, that's cool. And we'd be
And
like,
what if-
these guys are pretty cool.
What if Dan Trachtenberg was going to send us an email, and now so he could talk about being the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Wow. Is that the Cloverfield sequel?
I think it was like on Netflix, if I recall correctly.
That's the one where they put like 10 Cloverfield monsters in a house together.
Oh, I guess this was in
right?
movie theaters because it made $110 million. Good job, Dan. That's totally rad, or whatever. And he has an episode of Stranger Things coming out this year. So, things are going well for him.
Yeah. I mean, arguably more accomplished than us.
No.
Well, I mean, it depends on your metric. I feel like we're better people. I don't know him, but I know us both to be good people.
He has 2 Predator anthology films coming out this year.
Oh. I thought you were going to say Predator
welcome
Charges.
To Trachtenberg.
I mean, obviously, this is an adventure game podcast. I mean, I think that is clear from the title, from the content, from the general vibes. I mean, at some level, aren't we just solving the puzzle of what is a podcast every week?
Yeah. And, we're failing at it. Now, speaking of puzzles, Jess. Yeah, that was a terrible transition.
Let's get another one. Let's turn that back. Okay.
Just say something that gives me a good transition into what we're about to do. Okay. Great.
Oh, I ate too much pizza.
Speaking of diarrhea, what have you been playing? I don't think I've ever got diarrhea from bad pizza though, or eating too much of it.
Pizza has never hurt anyone. Pizza's pure.
You can only let down pizza.
That's right, and I have done that. Like I've had like the pepperonis form into a disappointed frown at me. That's when you know it's gotten bad. Okay, Ben, what have I been playing? I mean, the real answer is I've been playing AGD Interactive's King's Quest III remake that I'm playing as a follow-up to you recommending I play King's Quest II, Romancing the Stones, their previous remake, and I'm loving both of them. They're incredibly impressive. King's Quest III is a wonderful game. We'll talk about that on a King's Quest III podcast coming soon to an iPod near you. So I'm not going. That's not going to be. I'll tell you what I'm trying to play and failing. And Ben, I need your help with this.
Okay, you're playing the Blueprints and you're having trouble.
No, I've quit that. I bounced off that so hard.
Listen, you're at hour 12. Just one more, and you'll get there.
It's going to be so good all of a sudden. It's not going to be like a very poor-looking game with a repetitive gameplay loop. All of a sudden, it's going to be this whole new universe.
So mad right now.
Oh, anyway, I know. Ben, for the second time in my life, I am trying to play Kingdom Hearts.
Now, Jess, why are you doing that?
I want to like it. I want to get to the levels where I'm doing like running around in cool Disney worlds, like I'm in Halloween Town from Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff, and like, I don't know, like I have a key sword maybe. I think that's what you have in that game.
It's a key blade, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's called key sword. It's hard to say. There's not a lot of fan material.
Yes, you
out
really.
There,
I just can't advise you down this path.
You know, I want to like a Square game. I want to. I can't. I just can't.
Square.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis and his news. Why can't I like Square games?
That's a clip from Kingdom Hearts that I had ready to go.
Wow.
That's Bruce Boxleitner. He's Tron.
Wow. He's Tron?
He's Tronning it up. Let's see. Do I have I have all sorts of bizarre sound clips because of my previous podcast. And I thought I had two, but maybe just have one because Bruce Boxleitner was, of course, in Babylon 5.
Yes, of course.
So I'm always ready with a Bruce Boxleitner sound clip.
So Ben, why do you warn me against Kingdom Hearts? Why is this the wrong decision for me? I know it's the wrong decision for me, but I'm curious how you know it's the wrong decision for me.
I think just by reputation. It has like that
My reputation or its reputation?
Your reputation. You have to talk about it. But also the game's reputation, which is that, like, isn't it supposed to be, like, admittedly, this is just rumor and innuendo. This isn't, I haven't played these, and I never will. My understanding is that they are, like, really absurdly dense and strange.
That's my impression so far. And then the gameplay in the early hours feels very repetitive and not super exciting. I don't know. I just I've never been able to really get into Final Fantasy either. I don't know. Maybe
you just aren't. Maybe you just don't need to play a Square game.
Why do I want to though? Why do I feel like I should?
I don't play the Final Fantasy VI. It's pretty fun.
Yeah. I played the only one I've ever played.
The SNES one, right? Final Fantasy.
Whichever the SNES one that was Final Fantasy II on the NES. I played that one and really liked it. I had fun. I finished it.
Yeah. All right. Final Fantasy VI. That's the NES or the SNES one. That one's great. I played that a bit of that, and you know what? I was like, that's pretty good. And then that was that. I have more fun. I have more fun with Dragon Quest. When it comes to it, because Dragon Quest is so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah. I really want to someday play Final Fantasy VII and be like, oh man, I'm a Final Fantasy VII guy. I don't think it's going to work. I think I have to.
Here's the other thing about Kingdom Hearts is that I would think that if it's like this big epic crossover of all the Disneys, like that it would just be kind of a comedy. Like, I think that it's this dense, lore-filled, like melodrama thing is so off-putting to me. If you got Mickey and Goofy and Tron all hanging out, they should all be telling jokes.
Like, I want Goofy, like, to be sitting, like, with his head in his hands, a bloody sword at his feet, like, just weeping. Well, key sword. Weeping over his beloved dead wife. Like, that's the version. I want, like, a series. He's like, he's just, like, weeping openly.
Can I get a little more of that, please?
Gosh. Oh,
gosh. I killed my wife.
Oh, no. I don't think, is that the lore? I feel like he and Max would be on way worse terms.
Yeah.
Goof Troop. Now, what have you been playing, Ben?
So have I already done this for one? I don't know. I mean, this isn't a new, this is a game I continue to be playing, which is, I've been playing more of Balatro. Has that been one?
I think it's come up. I think we've talked Balatro.
Has it been what I've been playing?
That's a good question. But I mean, who's keeping score? If we don't know, why are the odds our listeners know?
It is. Well, here's the thing I've learned as a podcast host is that like you record this and you forget everything. And I even listened to this like 2 or 3 times because I edit it. I forget everything. But some listeners will come up to you, not come up, like we'll say on Discord, like months and months later, like, hey, remember that thing you said? No, I don't remember. Like, if you ask me tomorrow, what did we talk about today? I will not remember a single fucking thing.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, I'm not even listening to the parts where you're talking, so I'm missing half the podcast when we're recording.
If looking at the waveforms, I think I take most oxygen. But Balatro I've been playing because I've been like Balatro, if you're unfamiliar, the great like deck building poker cheating game. Have you played Balatro, Jess?
No, it's a Pokervania, right?
It's a Pokervania. That's right. And
a Pokerbrania.
It's a Pokerbrania, and
I'd like to poke your brainia, but please, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The thing about it is that like it is now on phones. It's been on phones now for a while, but I've been commuting a lot more. We're not like just on the train. Like I've been traveling more. I'm in part of the move, which I've talked about on previous podcasts. Like I'm a little bit further out of the way in the city, and so I've been riding the train and buses like a lot more. And Balatro is such a good game to play on your phone when you're on a bus. It is like the time flies right by. I get to the place, I'm not pissed off that it took me like some amount of time to get there. I'm just Balatroing up and down across the city of Chicago.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you think it would be better
if it's a very
if it
good
had,
game to have on a phone?
If it had real money gambling, do you think that would be like a big upgrade like you could do for the sequel maybe?
No.
Like BetMGM now sponsors Balatro, and now you're gambling real money. But it has a disclaimer, warning that this could be an addictive.
That is possibly my most like Puritan trait, is that I'm disgusted by gambling being everywhere, especially on phones. I think it is awful.
Have you ever done any gambling, Ben? Are you a gambler?
Like if you count like at a church fair when I was 12. But the thing is that like I was so energized by like playing this money game at this, and the Holy Spirit at like this church fair when I was 12, that I walked away from that and said, never doing that again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm never ever doing that again. Absolutely not. This is the way that like the way that this made my brain feel. This is not good. And I was in a casino for the very first time just a couple weeks ago because I went to go see Penn and Teller were doing a show at this casino just outside of Chicago. And so
I thought you had been lying this whole time about seeing Penn and Teller. I thought this was all a bit.
No.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've just assumed this is a bit every time it's come up.
Is it a bit is this making fun of me because I brought it up too many times?
No, I really thought it was just like you said at some point as a joke, in reference to some sort of magical thing, and I just thought it was always a joke.
They're both also, speaking of, they're also both like they're both in their 70s.
Yeah,
and they're great. They were awesome. But yeah, they were performing at this casino in Indiana, just across the state line. And so a friend and I drove out there, and you had to walk through the casino floor to get there. Now, I of course, I would love to go to Vegas at least once and have the Vegas experience. And maybe I'll even gamble if I go to Vegas once.
Everyone should, gambling or not, go to Vegas.
Though I will say, one of the reasons I wanted to go to Vegas was to see Penn and Teller, so that is now checked off. I mean, I'd see them again. They were great. Anyway, yeah, like, I mean, you know, like the across the city line in Indiana casino is probably, it doesn't have all the glamour that you would probably find in Las Vegas. I would hope. They also could smoke in there, which was
Isn't that
disgusting.
Weird? It's so weird. I mean, when I haven't been to Vegas, like, now probably 15 years.
Can you smoke in Vegas?
You could 15 years ago, and like 15 years ago still, that was weird. It's like, really? Is this a thing? Like, people are doing, like, by that point, most bars and restaurants had long abandoned it around here, and I was just shocked. It's like, oh, this whole place smells like my parents' car growing up.
When I moved to Chicago, like I'm in 2007 was the very end, right before the smoking ban. So like, I had like the slight, like, and I was 21. So like, there was for a moment I associated with like being 21 in bars, but now it's just like, that was so long ago, and I have not been in like really any indoor venue with smoking. It was very bizarre to be in a place where people were smoking inside. I was just like, wait, what?
You can't
they
do
were
that.
during the Penn and Teller show. That would have been awful. Thank God.
No.
But yeah. Balatro, I've been playing it a lot. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Jess, you should play it. It is. Have you played any deck builders at all?
No.
Well, you played Marvel Snap.
Yeah, but that's not really.
Is that a deck builder? It's a card game. And
it's
played,
more like it's like a Magic. Magic's not deck builder, is it?
Magic is a deck builder.
Okay, yeah, it's a deck builder. Yeah, I built decks.
And then you played a little bit of Midnight Suns. And that's a deck builder.
Oh, is it? I don't understand the genre, I suppose.
You haven't played like Slay the Spire.
No.
Which is also very good. That's also on phones. Oh, maybe I'll reinstall Slay the Spire to mix it up a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, I need to start playing some games for this segment. Like, I just really need to like start diversifying so I can get good content for the pod.
This was one of those things where I was like, have I played anything new since last week when we recorded one? And I was just like, nope.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could tell everybody about some great Overwatch matches I had this week, but you know, nobody wants to hear that.
Yeah,
I know you'd be curious,
and I would
Ben,
make fun of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's fair. It's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
All right.
I'm kind of like killing time here.
Why is that? Why are you killing time? What's going on? Everything okay?
Ben, you know, I know that we always decide what our topic's going to be live on the air, and we haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. just which one of us says something first, that becomes the topic of the episode. But we've come here today to discuss a storied company responsible for some of the most existing games that were released during the 80s and 90s. We're going to be talking about Capstone Software, and we're going to be talking about a couple of their games in particular. We're going to be discussing a little bit of Wayne's World, a point-and-click adventure game from 1993, and the Beverly Hillbillies, a point-and-click game from 1993. Now, Capstone as a company, when you hear Capstone, Ben, like you groan. Why do we groan when we hear Capstone Software?
So I had never heard of Capstone. I think I had seen screenshots of the Wayne's World game. I seem to recall, but maybe this is a false memory. I seem to recall, like as a kid, even seeing like the review in Computer Gaming World, or maybe like Computer Games Magazine, one of the magazines, like a negative review of Wayne's World. I could be wrong. This could be something I'm misremembering. But like I was unaware of Capstone games pretty much until I saw you stream them. And which everyone can and should go watch. Decaf Jedi. Oh, we didn't introduce that. He's Decaf Jedi on Twitch. I'm PS_Garrick. But yeah, Decaf Jedi, Beverly Hillbillies, and Wayne's World. Those are some of your most memorable streams to
For
me.
all the wrong reasons. I mean, in the same way that trauma can stick with you for years after it occurs. That's what makes these such memorable streams. Because spoiler alert, gang, these are both really really awful games. And I mean, if you want like the short version of what Capstone is all about, they are a publisher. They developed a few titles in house, but a lot of what they're doing is publishing other developers' work. But they are a company that grabbed cheap IP, cheap licenses, and churned out budget games with them. I mean, let me run through some of these, Ben. Let's get some of
All
what
right.
came out. Let's see. Uh, Trump Castle, the ultimate casino gambling simulation. That one hasn't aged so great. There's a Miami Vice platformer in 1989.
Okay. What was that? What was that on?
That was PC.
Cool.
I believe all of these are going to be PC games.
Okay.
Okay. Terminator 2 Judgment Day Chess Wars. So I'm guessing that's like a battle chess type game. Great. With Terminator 2 dressing. Probably their game that, looking back through old magazines from this era, 1995, the game I think that got
they made it to 95.
They made it all the way to 96.
Wow. Okay.
The game that I think probably got them the most attention, or at least the one that they advertised most heavily, was William Shatner's Tech War.
Don't people kind of like that game? Like, isn't that like one of those games that's not like good, but it's kind of weird? You know,
it might be
like a bit of an oddball.
Yeah. No, but I mean, that one was, like I said, it ran tons of ads at the very least, which is something I can't say for most of these.
That seems like something that Richard Cobbett might have played.
Yes.
We got to get Richard back to talk about it if he's played Tech War.
Yeah. The list goes on and on. Home Alone 1 and 2. Surf Ninjas. Ben, I know you're a big Surf Ninjas fan. Mm-hmm. They made a PC port of that. But their adventure games, I think, are probably what they're most notorious for. Let me run through some of these. These are their point-and-click adventures. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989. That one's barely a point-and-click adventure, but who doesn't love Bill and Ted? L.A. Law, the point-and-click adventure game. For all the Corbin Burnson fans out there, you can check out L.A. Law, the adventure game. This one's good. An American Tale, the computer adventures of Fievel and his friends. That one's somewhere out there, ready to be enjoyed right now. Mm-hmm. But it's 1993. This is the banner year for Capstone. This is when they release in quick succession 3 budget-priced point-and-click adventure games: Wayne's World, the Beverly Hillbillies, and based on the popular In Living Color character, Homie D. Clown.
I'll note that, so Beverly Hillbillies and Homie D. Clown, but not, at least according looking here on Wikipedia, so maybe it's wrong. They were developed by Synergistic Software.
Right.
And
then published.
Which was purchased by Sierra Online in 1996.
Oh no. So you're telling me Homie D. Clown is actually a Sierra game?
These are all Sierra games. And,
okay, so when we do the bracket,
Sierra, not until 96. In 96, they did like the games that they developed for Sierra. They developed 2 front page sports games. If you remember Front Page Sports.
Mm-hmm. Front Page Sports Badminton. What else did they do?
Then they developed a game called Triple Play 97.
Oh, I remember Triple Play 97.
They developed,
I believe, Randy Johnson, the big unit, might have been the cover star for that one. Maybe I'm wrong though.
They developed this game called Birthright: The Gorgon's Alliance, which is a D&D game that looks like kind of a strategy
Mm-hmm.
Turn-based strategy game. So that, and then their last game, published by Sierra, is this is the only of these that I've played, which is to say, they was Diablo Hellfire.
Oh, that was them.
Yeah, they
Wow.
did Hellfire. And
You've
you
come a
know
long
what?
way, baby. That
Hellfire
explains why
was
Homie the Clown
not
shows up in
bad.
Hellfire. That's
I
why Homie the Clown is the final boss in Diablo 2 Hellfire. Now it all makes sense.
um yeah, it was uh like and I'm reading this. This is really interesting. Creative interference. So this is the Wikipedia page
Mm.
for Hellfire. Creative interference from sister companies Blizzard Condor, which by this time had been renamed Blizzard North, and Synergistic Software had all been purchased by the same company, CompuCard International. Now, if you
See, you see.
are familiar with CUC, that's the fucking scam company that bought Sierra. Like in a like I read Digital Antiquarian. There was a really wonderful pair of recent stories on it. Um, uh, and CUC made no effort to ensure its subsidiaries cooperated in the development of the expansion. Blizzard, which developed and operated BattleNet, refused to support Hellfire because they didn't want to be blamed for any unforeseen interactions between BattleNet and any code they hadn't written.
Wow.
Meanwhile, no content could be added to Hellfire without approval of Blizzard North, which was developing Diablo 2. They vetoed an enormous amount of stuff, which was also going to be in Diablo 2.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this company is known for its quality work, clearly. I mean, and just
Hellfire was fine. I enjoyed Hellfire at the time.
yeah,
I haven't played it in a long time. Maybe
sounds like Blizzard wasn't a big fan, but
well,
I think Hellfire was well received,
it
right?
sounds like they're blaming CompuCard, which
Mm,
was, all right,
that's
who
fair.
developed Wayne's World DOS? Was that synergistic as well?
Let's
Because
see here.
that uh like let's get this. Um like am I
Let's
gonna see
see
the
here. No,
synergistic?
this is good. This is good.
This
Let's
is
see.
great radio.
Oh
Yeah.
no, on Wikipedia, literally the DOS section just said this section is missing information.
How interesting.
Nobody knows who made that one.
Well, I mean, I guess I could look at Moby Games, which would
Oh
definitely
wait,
have it.
I have it.
Yeah.
Robert Fiorini and Associates developed it. Robert
Robert
Fiorini and
Fear,
Associates.
and that is the only credit.
Yes.
It's weird because there are a lot of kind of similarities, I would say.
Yeah, they feel developed the same. Let's talk about the. I mean, we're not going to talk about Homie the Clown. If you haven't played Homie the Clown, I mean, get out there. I mean, it's a Damon Wayans classic character. I haven't played this game because, as tempting as it is to stream it, I'm terrified that there will be a problematic jump scare at some point in the game that causes me to have to like dash to unplug my modem from the wall before somehow it uploads to Twitch. So I've avoided Homie the Clown, but I did suffer through Wayne's World and Beverly Hillbillies. And I think I'd like to talk about Wayne's World first. I want
You'd
to
like
keep
to talk about Wayne's World first?
Swing, 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 swing.
I had to do that again with the volume up.
party on, Ben.
Party on, Jess. Now,
Ben, tell me, are you? You're a little younger than me.
Uh-huh.
What's your Wayne's World experience as far as the sketch, the movies? Like, is that before your time?
I saw the movie first, and then I saw the sketches. I was aware of Wayne's World, like because you had to be.
You couldn't step onto like a playground or something when Wayne's World was at its peak and not be somewhat aware of Wayne's World.
Because
I feel like,
Wayne's World, like Mike Myers is on SNL.
Yeah.
And so what, like Wayne's World is what, 91, 92?
The game is
as a sketch, as an SNL sketch.
Probably right around in there. Yeah.
So yeah, I would have been way too young. I didn't get into SNL until I was like a teenager. So I was aware of it, but
yeah,
like, I think it wasn't until I was like 10 or 11 that I saw like the movie on like Comedy Central or something. And I was like, oh, it's funny. That's what this whole thing was. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that's supposed to be funny. I mean, for me, I was like 13 or 14 when Wayne's World was.
You were
So
probably a big Wayne's World head.
I was literally the target demographic. I mean, I don't know if it wasn't made for 14-year-old boys. I don't know who Wayne's World was made for. So I had big Wayne's World fever. Like I loved it. Like every kid, I was repeating catchphrases and all that sort of stuff because that's what you do when you're a kid who's into SNL stuff. Is you just repeat all the things, Monday at school that you heard on Saturday night on the live
it's Mike
show.
Myers and Dana Carvey, who are like two of the biggest like comedy stars of that period, and they're both very like funny and accomplished. Like, of course, like it's just like, and it's also Dana Carvey doing a non-impression, which he had a couple of. He had Church Lady.
Yeah.
But like, like he was I mean, and that's why Dana Carvey was so powerful, was that he was an impressionist that also had characters. It's
Yes.
That's
too powerful.
Too
that's
much.
why he had to be taken out.
That's why we had to take him out, and that's why he I just came back from the funeral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
The other day, I was reading, I think it's well known that Mike Myers and Dana Carvey feuded on and off for years.
Oh, they did.
In part because of I think Dana Carvey feeling like Mike Myers stole his Lorne Michaels impression for Dr. Evil. And that was apparently a big point of contention between them for a number of years. And of course, they didn't get along terribly well, I think, on the set of Wayne's World either, because you get the feeling Mike Myers might be a tiny bit difficult to work with. But I read the other day that Mike Myers apparently lobbied not to have Garth in the Wayne's World movie.
I think I've heard that. I think that is
insane to me.
That
as if
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. What?
And monkeys might fly on my butt.
Yeah.
No, okay. I'm almost done. My wife.
Swing, swing.
The crazy thing about that is, even beyond that it wouldn't work, it would also be like audiences would be watching it and be like, "Where's Garth?"
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Like,
yeah,
you need Garth there. Like,
who does Wayne talk to if Garth isn't there? Like, he's addressing the camera and breaking the fourth wall the entire movie?
The longest tenured Doctor Who, Tom Baker, the fourth Doctor, I believe, if I recall correctly, also felt that he could do it without an assistant, and it was just kind of like, no, you need to have someone to talk to.
Like, and to polish your key sword when you're not using it.
Oh brother, Jess. Anyway, so yeah, Wayne's World. Here's the thing about like this being a cheap license, is that like I'm like, this is a pretty good license for something to be a bargain license. Like,
it is. I mean, it's hot. And
yeah, like Wayne's World was a huge movie, and it was a big sketch, and those were 2 stars.
And it makes you wonder if it falls into that weird category of, this is a big property that doesn't easily lend itself to a video game. And that's maybe why a company like Capstone could snatch it up. It's like, well, yeah, sure, make a point.
I don't know, man. They made a Cool Spot video game.
They did make a Cool Spot, but I mean, that's a great game.
Like, I think, and this exists. Like, I think you could just, at its most basic, just make like a mascot platformer, which that's what you can always do.
Which I think is what Wayne's World is like on Super NES.
Yeah,
it has that, like, it has that horrific sprite of like Wayne with the giant Mike Myers head that's like a little too photorealistic.
Yeah,
and he's just walking around like duck walking with a guitar the whole game. As I recall.
All right, you're putting it off. What is Wayne's World the game?
Oh God, this one is
What's the point? What's the plot? What are you supposed to do?
Well, the public, the station that
and
airs,
we already talked about the UI, so you don't have to talk about that.
We'll talk about the UI again.
Yeah.
It's so bad we have to talk about it again.
Okay.
But you're trying to save the public access television show that Wayne and Garth host from their basement from being canceled. So you begin organizing a pizza-thon fundraiser.
All right.
A pizza-thon.
That sounds good. That sounds great.
Fundraiser.
Funny.
So yeah, that's great. So it's not unlike sort of the plot to Wayne's World 1 where their show's in danger, and Wayne's World 2 where they're throwing a big festival. It kind of mixes and matches elements of both of those. So the first half of the game is you like putting together all the pieces necessary to throw this pizza-thon fundraiser. So you're finding entertainment for it, you're trying to get money, all this other sort of stuff. It's
okay.
Just
that sounds so good. Pretty straightforward. You just get some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the most classic, we have
Normal
to throw a big
adventure
show
game,
before
you gotta get 4 fucking things. Yeah.
Before
sounds
they
good.
shut down the Muppet Theater.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just how you do these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's point and click. The puzzles are kind of moon logic-y. They're not.
I'm not going to say they're kind of moon logic-y.
Okay,
they are.
Right.
I watched. Hold on. So I watched some of these streams earlier, and I was taking notes. It's constantly playing the same tune.
Yes, which is a Capstone trademark.
Mm-hmm. There's no walk icon.
Why would you need one? Now there are 11 other icons or whatever, but not walk.
That are completely like impossible to parse, which we've talked about. This was something that I completely forgot about because I was watching you stream it at the time, and then when I was watching it again, they give Garth an extremely long tongue.
Well, that is based. That's never established for Garth in the films, but Dana Carthy does have a notoriously long tongue. So.
That long? It's like a couple feet long.
Well,
and he does some tricks with it.
Mm-hmm. This is getting a little saucy. Tell me more.
They're not saucy tricks.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't even remember the tongue part. It's been.
Oh, brother, yeah, the tongue part is crazy. You got to check it out. This guy Decaf Jedi, he streams sometimes.
Oh man, he's erased all of this from his brain. No, I remember a puzzle at one point. Like you have to build a mousetrap. So you take like a miniature model of a castle that's seen on a desk, and you prop it up with a drumstick from your inventory, and then you like attach a chain to the drumstick, and then you yank like everything about. I guess that's a standard like cartoon kind of trap, but I don't know. It's all bad. Eventually, you roll around to like a strange cartoonish plot. Like it goes from they're trying to cancel our show, which is again is very down the middle Wayne's World. Yeah. Suddenly, there's like an evil plan that's going to brainwash everyone on Earth, and there's a mad scientist. It turns into a weird cartoon with no connection back to
this. Is it like aliens or like lizard people or something?
Oh man, we'll talk about the sewer here in a minute. But yeah, at one point
we're holding off on the sewer.
Yeah, but you do meet like a literal lizard king, and not like in the like Jim Morrison sense of the word, but like a giant lizard creature sitting on a throne with a little crown who considers himself the king of the lizard people who live in the sewers with him. I don't know what this has to do with like how do we rescue our girlfriend Cassandra and throw a really rager.
Well, isn't she kidnapped?
She is. She's damseled. But it's like, why is there a lizard king? This is ostensibly.
Well, this is some of the cutting room floor Wayne's World 2 ideas.
No, that could be it. It just goes completely off the rails. There's a game show at one point.
The game show, I remember, like the game show is so arbitrary and bizarre
and long. It's so long,
very long.
It's like a Jeopardy game show that like the title I think is Name That Babe, and you get asked.
You also have to get the answers right.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're pretty arbitrary. And I mean, it's all basically like some sort of very lazy swing kind of joke. It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah?
who's a hot babe?
Swing. Swing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's just, and it goes on forever, and it's unskippable, and it kills the momentum of a game that barely had momentum. I mean, honestly,
So,
I feel like
yeah, and that's
it,
just the game show. We're not
that's
up
just the
to
game
a
show.
part that kills all the momentum. Let's talk about the
No.
sewers.
Oh my God, the sewer maze at the end of the game, Ben. I
So,
think,
so I've got notes here because I watched a lot of this.
yeah, I think it is without a doubt, even with a walkthrough in hand that literally tells you exactly which direction to take.
It reorients where you are, right?
Oh, it always does
Every
that,
time.
which is always a fun. Yeah, you like exit to the left, but enter the next screen on the right. Always a classic, right?
Yep.
You know, that kind of thing. It is the worst maze I've ever encountered. Even with a walkthrough that's telling you exactly where to go, literally step by step. It's all backtracking, going from one location back to another, back to another, back to another. And
it is enormous.
It's enormous.
Isn't it multi-level too?
Yes, it's like several levels of maze.
A multi-level maze.
It's even difficult at times to like discern what level you're on if you kind of lose
not very clear.
Yeah, I don't think I could have done this maze without a walkthrough. And even with a walkthrough, I didn't go back and watch my stream, but as I recall, I think it was like 45 plus minutes of me.
So here's some notes here. Here's a note from this is you at one point you go, I feel like I could finish this in 20 minutes. And then I mouse over, and you'd already been in the sewer for a bit at this point.
Uh-huh.
And then I moused over the YouTube thing, and there were 40 minutes left of the stream.
Oh no.
Which was great. I also, this is an actual quote from you. You said, quote, "This is off the charts level punishment."
It really, I mean, I don't know. Is there a good adventure game maze? I don't know. I mean,
that was what you asked. You like, so you're doing this and you're just like, this is miserable. Because the thing, again, you had, as you were saying, you had the walkthrough and you were having difficulty with it. And then you were just like, because it's a feeling that you get when you're streaming. I'm saying this for the listeners. Sometimes you're playing a game and you're getting so frustrated and so kind of bored with it. Like it's this boring frustration, like being lost in a maze where you're just like, man, this is dull. This is dull television. Like it's
I start really feeling like I don't want to be perceived right now by other people as I experience
and
this.
the worst part about it is, as a viewer, as I was viewing you, I was having a blast. I was just like, man, he's so miserable. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
But like when you're streaming that, because I've experienced this too, is like you'll be playing a game, you're just not having a good time. You're playing fucking Pac-Man 2. And like you're just not having a good time, and you're just like in your head you're like, this isn't good television. Like this is not like I'm just frustrated and nothing's happening. And but like at least for me as a viewer, and I think for many other viewers, like that's great television.
Yes, I think that is what a lot of people want to see. Like, I guess it's fun to watch somebody just like breeze through Space Quest 3 because they know every single button press and can just do it without a second thought. But I think it's almost more fun to watch somebody who is about to rip out their own eyeballs because they're so angry at this game they have to look at. And that's me in the Wayne's World maze.
You played this after you played Beverly Hillbillies, and you were constantly comparing it to Beverly Hillbillies. And up to that point, you're like, this is not a good game, but it's better than Beverly Hillbillies. And then you said, this is worse. This is worse than Beverly Hillbillies maze, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But like that's And what was great, I remember that night very clearly because I came home from a date. It didn't go, it was fine. And but I remember like I left my apartment and I like you'd started streaming and I watched like maybe the first like 5-10 minutes and then I left to go on a date, have a couple drinks. We talked for like 2 hours. I walk back to my apartment. I sit down at my computer. I look and I see that you are still streaming.
Oh no.
And I'm like, well, that can't be good.
No,
And
each stream I have that goes over 2 hours, something has gone horribly wrong.
And like that you're like losing your mind. And because I
Yes.
also was like, well, like because you were starting and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this tonight. And like it was like a clear like I'm staying on till like you said at one point, you're like, I am going to finish this. This might take me 14 hours. This is being done.
No, I mean, the thought of having to play at a third session was more than I could handle. I mean, that's the thing about this game is like from the standpoint of being a couple of years removed from playing it, I do think it's a slightly better game than Beverly Hillbillies. This maze is god awful.
It is. I watched them both.
Yeah.
I watched both these streams. I can verify just based off of watching.
Yeah. And a little bit of that is just that Wayne's World's a better property. Wayne, having Wayne and Garth.
Beverly Hillbillies is a baffling license choice.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at least Wayne's World, they're going to hit the catchphrases occasionally. There's some level of like easy banter that you can establish between Wayne and Garth. There are bits like that there's some charm in that first half of the game. And granted, that maze throws away most of that goodwill. There's also that really cute convenience store clerk. She's like purple haired and alternative and sneers at you and seems to really despise you, which I'm kind of into that. I kind of have a crush on this like convenience store clerk from Wayne's World. Yeah, is that so weird? I have a crush on Madame Thorine from Space Quest 4. Look, I could talk about all my adventure game crushes if
that might be a great future podcast. I don't know if I have any though.
Mark that down. Yeah, mark that down.
QuestQuestPodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email. Do you have an adventure game podcast? And do you want us to anonymize it? We'll be quiet. We'll be discreet.
You ask if people had an adventure game podcast, not a crush.
Well, if you have an adventure game podcast, send us an email. I'm not going to listen.
But make it anonymous. We don't want to know the name of your
But send
podcast.
us a podcast if you have any crushes.
Yeah, record a podcast of your own, send it to us about your crush, and we will air that podcast in our podcast. Yeah, that's what it's a simple process, people. So keep up.
All right.
Yeah. So I have a crush on that girl. That's not bad.
I am just impressed that this is like you don't remember Garth's insane tongue, which you gotta watch this because it is insane. And like, but there's like this one character in the game that you're like, yeah, I remember her.
Hubba. Yeah,
there's a scene in Citizen Kane where one of the people reminiscing about Kane to the reporter like tells this story about this woman that he saw just once. And it's a little parable about the fragility of time because he's sitting here, he's an old man, but he still remembers that moment. That's you. So like
now, I mean, I guess maybe that's a good chance to talk about what this game looks like too. I mean, to me, this very much reads as budget 90s adventure game. I mean, it is like right down the middle. It like a game it reminds me a lot of is maybe like an Operation Stealth or any number of other non like LucasArts, Sierra, low budget point and clicks, which is to say, I think it's trying to ape the LucasArts style a little bit. It's like
it's got a bit of a
less manly
style.
Yeah,
interface.
It's got a less manly feel to it, I think, as a comparison. But it is obviously not done with nearly the care or the artistic skill or the budget or any of those sorts of things. it has lots of that. Both it and Beverly Hillbillies have the I think what I understand to be like the deluxe
I was
paint
going to say
gradient
this. It has the
vibe.
deluxe paint gradients, which
Yeah.
like after, because you could see this in like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Loom in VGA when they did the conversions up from the EGA version. You could tell that they were just using the like, and when I say you could tell, I mean I'm just repeating a website.
I've been told you can tell. Yes,
like I'm just repeating what a website told me, and then I've looked at comparison screenshots, and it's like you could, like, as you can see, it's using this deluxe. Like I can't tell. I've never used deluxe paint. I guarantee. Like this is like whoever's listening to this has never used deluxe paint. You could tell. What an insane thing. I'm just repeating a website.
What if Allison Deluxe Paint, the creator of Deluxe Paint, is listening to this podcast right now? And she's saying,
she's crying.
You know, she's like, "You've never used Deluxe," but no. I mean, what it reads to me, and I would say the same about the 256 color versions of Loom and Last Crusade. It reads a little cheap. It definitely reads, like you clicked fill on something, rather than sort of arted it up yourself a little bit. I don't know how art works.
A bit of a nostalgia to that look.
Yeah. It is of a time. It is of a very specific time.
Yeah, it puts me in a place.
Yeah.
All right.
But boy, Wayne's World, I mean, yeah, it's terrible, but it is serviceable up until that maze. The maze kills it in a way that is almost indescribable.
It's full of incredible babes. All right. Let's
okay, Beverly Hillbillies.
So
nothing redeemable here.
We just our last podcast was about music, and I captured a little bit of music from Beverly Hillbillies before we started. This isn't the tune that plays everywhere.
Okay,
this is the tune that plays during, and I want to let this run a little bit because it starts out and you're just kind of like, okay. But it gets a little deranged, and we'll talk about what scene this is for. Maybe Jess, name that tune once I'm done playing it. Feels like trivia music, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Not terrible. It's just, it's just a MIDI.
Just doing what you can with the instruments you have.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll play on your ad lib.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is this going to get interesting in a little bit?
It's almost, you have to wonder if that's like playing correctly.
Now, I'll note that Discord tune, that like a little Discord chime, I was just playing off the what you hear. So apparently someone sent me a Discord message. I believe that was you saying, I'm ready to record.
Oh my God.
So
I take it back. If I could unsend that message, having heard that.
What was... that tune just makes me laugh every time. Like, and I remember feeling the same way watching you play it. Like the first time is when that like enters it. It is some of the worst. It's cat on the piano level. And I understand that it's probably trying to kind of redneck it up a little bit. Like I think that's the intention. But it
rednecks love discordant notes. Yeah, we can't get enough
garbage.
Of it. Yeah. Now, I mean, what part of the game did that play during?
That plays during the completely inscrutable puzzle. Now you'll that doesn't
narrow it down.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, that does not. So yeah, go on.
The inscrutable puzzle where All right. So the game begins, and you're Jed Clampett, and you're wandering around the woods, and you shoot a squirrel, and then bubbling crude oil, that is, comes up. Then you head off to Beverly Hills, and that's the music that plays when you're in this inscrutable and unreadable puzzle.
Oh, the
where you're
jalopy scene.
driving to when you're driving to Los Angeles, and the thing is, if you haven't seen this or played it, it is that so the Clampett's car is going down the. And also, like, if you're unfamiliar with the show, that's fine. I never watched it either.
You never watched Beverly Hillbillies?
No, not once.
Oh man, I watched it religiously as a kid. But then again, I'm Franco-Appalachian myself. I mean, this is
what is.
All
right, let's rewind. Let me finish that, and then let's get the premise of Beverly Hillbillies for those who don't know. But yeah, it's this puzzle where they're driving a car down the highway to California. From where are they from?
The Ozarks, I think. The Ozarks.
They're from the Ozarks. Okay, so they're crossing. They're crossing the country, and what it is that you're on like a 3-lane highway, and you're just driving, and you can move from lane to lane, and sometimes if you're on the correct lane, it will change the signs that you're seeing on the road as you pass that give and that's the only change you get.
Yeah.
And
you don't
then
get a musical chime or any kind of other indication. You may not even notice that these signs have changed.
And then if you miss that, then you go all the way back to the start. And it is trial and error. You have to get it exactly right. And this is what really cracked me up watching you do it, is that you got it exactly right the first time. And then you made it to California, and then right where you're supposed to be, like on that route, because you have to do it's like top lane, middle lane, top lane, bottom lane, I think was what it was, something like that. In the bottom lane, there's a tow truck sitting there, and you have to quickly change lanes. And if you don't, you collide with it, and it just restarts you right at the start.
Awful. Just awful. And I mean, I had a walkthrough, so I kind of knew what the premise of this puzzle was. There is nothing. I mean, I was about to say nothing to signpost you there, but I mean, literally, you're supposed to be noticing signposts along the way. But you get lots of comedy signposts mixed into that distract you from all this. I mean, what it feels like it should have been is probably a simple arcade sequence. Like if this had been there are potholes and obstacles in the road, and the whole idea is you're switching lanes to get out of the way of those. That would have been, it's almost like Land Skimmer, Space Quest 1 kind of stuff at that point. That would have been much better than what we got, which is just an inscrutable puzzle. And that's, I mean, already the hunting the varmint in the first screen is a little inscrutable
What is Beverly Hillbillies? What is the premise of the television program?
Okay. This television show that came out in the 1960s, I believe it was part of, was it CBS's attempt to pivot toward a rural audience, along with shows like Petticoat Junction and some other things like that. They had this whole strategy of we're going Green Acres, I believe, was part of that lineup as well.
I would have thought that it was like one network had one of those, and the other network had Petticoat Junction, and the other one had in the same way you have Addams Family, you have Munsters, like I Dream of Jeannie.
No, these were part of a programming block.
Bewitched. They were all together?
Yes, this was part of we are marketing toward rural America.
Interesting.
For that demographic. So yeah, it's Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and Beverly Hillbillies. But the premise
I did watch Green Acres as a kid. It's
pretty good.
On Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Green Acres.
Zsa Zsa Gabor is wonderful. She's beautiful.
Zsa Zsa was so funny.
Yeah.
What did this little gay boy like Zsa Zsa Gabor so much about? She loved the city. What is she doing in the country?
That's the wrong place for her. New York's where she'd rather stay.
New
She gets
York.
allergic smelling hay.
I want to be. Oh, brother.
No, Beverly Hillbillies. It's a family of rural Americans that one day while Uncle Jed Clampett is out shooting for some food, up from the ground comes a bubbling crude oil that is black gold, Texas tea. So he loads up his truck and he moves to Beverly. They go to Beverly Hills and it's a fish out of water story. It's Jed.
Why do they go to Beverly Hills?
That's where you go once you get rich.
There are other places to go.
No, it's pretty much just
Monaco. Gambling. Glamour.
Car races.
Yeah.
Europe. Yeah, no, it's got everything.
Yeah, you know what? Why? It's time to bring back, make it the Monaco Hillbillies.
So, yeah, I mean, so it's Jed, Granny, who is Granny his wife, or
you're asking the guy that did not watch the show.
I never thought too much about it. They have Jethro, who I think is his nephew, and Ellie Mae, who's either his niece or his daughter. The family relations aren't that important, but it's just a fish out of water story. They're always doing things like swimming in their cement pond in the backyard and, you know, just typical stuff. Jethro always has some sort of clever scheme where he's going to be an astronaut or something. I, as a kid, watched a bunch of this on TBS where it would rerun when the Braves weren't playing. The Supers, yeah. If the Braves weren't on in the afternoon, I was watching like all these bad old sitcoms. I was watching Beverly Hillbillies, The Munsters, whatever I get my hands on. I was watching Maniac Mansion on a loop.
Yeah, I know that was on the Family Channel.
I think it was. Yeah, but no, I mean and what's even weirder about this is it's not even technically made to tie into the TV show, but rather the then contemporaneous film adaptation of the Beverly Hillbillies starring Jim Varney.
Oh.
Who appeared apparently on the final episode of the Chevy Chase show, it turns out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about the Chevy. I don't know anything about Chevy Chase.
Who's that?
Yeah. Chevy. I know a lot about Bill Murray.
We should do a podcast about Bill Murray.
I'm a Murray minor. Like, and not a child.
Mining,
but like
you're mining.
Like I'm
trivia,
I'm
just information.
An axe.
Yeah, and, I like that we both did pickaxe motions here. I wish the listeners could see that because we really sold it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean this game is terrible. I mean, like right from the beginning, you get like the origin story of him. The music.
Here, I'll just play it. You know, just kind of keep that going.
Yeah, so he's like chasing this. Is it a rabbit? I think it's a rabbit. He's chasing a rabbit through the forest, and basically you have to figure out just through your magical deduction skills that you need to chase this rabbit to the edge of a swamp where you can then shoot at it with your shotgun. And that's what causes the striking of oil and everything. But it becomes a weird maze right from the beginning where you're in this forest. It's all very nondescript, very easy to get lost in. You have to chase the rabbit, which means you need to enter from, like if you need it to go down, you need to enter from the top of the screen and chase it down through the bottom. And even though all the screens tend to look like they have exits north, east, south, and west, arbitrarily, a lot of those screens only allow you to exit from one or two directions, even though visibly there's no barrier like a bush or a tree or anything that would stop you from going the other way. So that's like a maze of how do I chase a rabbit through all of these nondescript forest scenes until I eventually flush it out to the place I need it to be. How do I know I need it to be there? I don't. I've just figured this out with a walkthrough. There's no way to know that. And then if you do that, you then get to go to that terrible driving sequence. That's your reward.
And then like the game, you're driving your car around Los Angeles, like in these nondescript streets. Like it's like this
it's an overworld map.
Yeah.
Which is strange for an adventure game, an overworld map, but sure. Yeah, you're just driving around and you're going to different mansions. The first puzzle once you get to Beverly Hills is how can I find the mansion that I live in now? Which that alone is kind of a wild concept, right? You just like roll into town and you're like, I wonder where the house I bought is.
The house I'm assigned.
Yes, now that I'm rich, the house I've been assigned by presumably Mr. Drysdale down at the bank. I have to go find my own home. And then there's a whole plot like Granny gets clubbed over the head by some sort of mysterious assailant and kidnapped and held hostage for ransom. And
Let's
my
talk.
god,
Let's talk about. Let's talk about the worst. The worst part. The one that you said that the maze at the end of Wayne's World was worse, but this was like what you kept bringing up when you were playing Wayne's
oh,
World. You're like the worst part of
Rodeo
Hillbilly.
Drive. Yeah, Rodeo Drive is just like this row of shop fronts.
That are
And
all like just kind of interchangeable. It just kind of changes the name, and sometimes they have a couple sprites or a sprite like
yes,
standing up.
just yeah, like just slightly different. And as you pass through these stores, you like come out on the other side into a different nondescript street. And some of these stores you need to go into and interact with people and get items to solve the puzzle. But it is indecipherable, like where you're at any given time. It's a maze that, unlike the Wayne's World maze, is kind of impossible to describe in text or to like draw out an ASCII representation of how you're going to do this. It kind of has to be like, described loosely and then hope you can figure it out, even if you're playing from a walkthrough. And I think it's not that it's hard the way the Wayne's World one is. It's not nearly as big. It's not nearly as much backtracking back and forth, but it is just
Mhm.
so out of place and so unnecessary. I mean, the problem with both of these games is they're like 45-minute games if you don't have these crappy sequences in them. If that. I mean, if you just like played the puzzle sequences and took out the mazes and the dumb car sequence and things like that, I don't know if either one of these games is a whole lot longer than half an hour. It's
I think
there's just not
Homie
much game here.
Declown. I think Homie Declown you could do like very quickly.
Yeah. And it looks very like light on the adventure game elements. Like these are moon logic-y. It looks like it's somewhere not quite at like full point and clicky vibes. I think it's a little bit of an outlier there. But yeah, this Rodeo Drive sequence, it's not as punishing as the Wayne's World days, but it's awful.
The Rodeo Drive sequence also has like, so you have to get like this haircut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to walk through, and it's not clear that you can walk through stores.
No.
And then you have to walk, like you get a hint from just someone on the street.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, it's madness. It's unclear it's a puzzle. It's unclear what you can do. Sometimes when you come out on the other side, it's not even immediately obvious that you've passed through to a new location.
Right, because
again,
they all look the same.
Everything's so nondescript and interchangeable. Like, it took me a while to figure out, like, I was on a different row of stores
right
at some point, because it's just nothing about the geography of it doesn't make sense. It doesn't establish any sort of logic of place that would allow you to discern what's going on. It's just confusing and unclear. And I think it just feels like something that just wasn't even thought about.
Do you remember what the hint was?
No.
The hint, I have this, hold on, let's see.
Sometimes it helps to think backwards.
All right. I took a screenshot because this was
good.
I tried the Carlotti brothers. This is what the shoe shine person says to you. They're easy to find. Just go through 3 stores with similar names and you'll be right there. And the similar names are, it's 3 stores that have relatives, like so-and-so
siblings
brothers.
or relatives.
Yeah.
But even that is, I mean, I guess that's a clue. That passes as a clue in an adventure
game. And like, it's not clear at all. You said, quote, "This is the worst puzzle ever."
Mm-hmm.
And then you finally get the haircut, which costs $10,000.
Oh man, Beverly Hills, am I right?
And his sprite doesn't change.
Oh God, that's right. Oh no. Oh, that's upsetting.
Do you remember this? and this is true of both games, is that they're both hideously glitchy, but
Yes.
Hillbillies especially.
Yeah. Lots of pathfinding issues,
Oh
weird
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
pathfinding is terrible. Like you'll
Yeah.
click
Terrible,
on
terrible.
somewhere and like Jed Clampett will just like kind of wander off in another direction, which
Yeah.
is just very funny. The you got to a point, this was on your first stream, you got to a point, you were saying earlier that it's like these are like 45-minute games without the mazes. So you got to like a part in your first stream, you had already gotten a fair amount of progress, and you're like, and you said, I should probably save. And then you go to save and the game just crashes.
Oh.
And you didn't have,
Did I crash at that point? Did I also
quote
spin out
here?
of control?
I read some quotes here. Not like this. No. And then later it glitched out when you tried to restore something else, and you said it's broken me.
I mean, this is, I think, the worst adventure game I've ever played. I know there have to be worse ones out there, especially if you extend it to a world of like amateur games and everything like that. Absolutely, there are worse
amateur,
games out there.
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
This is
But
this is definitely in the Hall of Fame of like commercial games. I think Pushing Up Roses on her, like, because I was looking up on YouTube Beverly Hillbillies like adventure game, and like I think she calls it the worst adventure game too.
I
So
think
it's
it
like,
is. I think it
I
just,
mean,
it never starts making sense. There's barely any dialogue or description in the game, which I don't know if it has like a look command necessarily, which means unlike the Wayne's World game, which at least has a little bit of personality because it's stealing
there's no
the
personality.
personality. Yeah, there's no personality. I mean, yeah, nothing about it makes it, I mean, really need to be a Beverly Hillbillies game. You could just swap in any kind of property and kind of have the
I bet a
same.
Green Acres game would be fun.
Oh, that'd be so good. With Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh yeah, Zsa Zsa. She's so glamorous.
You know, I just don't know if like the country is where she's going to thrive.
You know what though? I think she's going to learn a lesson at the end of every episode.
You think so?
Yeah,
I doubt it. I think she's
so.
going to remain just conceited and stuck up.
I don't know if I watched Petticoat Junction.
It has a great theme song.
Which one?
Cue it up, Ben.
Which one is the is because Green Acres has that's Green Acres, right?
Yes.
Which one?
Petticoat Junction, if I recall, I haven't heard this in a long time. I think it starts out with like some female vocals saying Petticoat Junction in like sort of the cadence of a train, like Petticoat Junction, Petticoat, like kind of that sort of thing.
I've never heard that.
Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, now I mean I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't listen to.
I never watched Petticoat Junction, so I couldn't tell you.
I did. I watched like an episode or two of it. I was more of a Beverly Hillbillies and Green Acres. Oh my god, Beverly Hillbillies ran for 9 seasons, Ben.
What what other like kind of Nick at Night, you know, of shows were you into?
You know, I think I've mentioned before,
yeah.
like I was a huge Laugh-In fan, which again makes Gary Owens eventually becoming the narrator of Space Quest series kind of funny because I was like the one kid on the planet who was already hyped about Gary Owens long before he set foot anywhere near Space Quest. So I watched a ton of that. I was obsessed with the Sonny and Cher variety hour that used to run on. I loved it. Like 70s variety shows are absolutely like a guilty pleasure of mine. I loved like the horrible Sonny and Cher comedy. Oh my god, man. It's just so good.
I would
Steve Martin probably wrote on that, didn't he? Like that's
maybe. I would fuck up like a run of I Love Lucy episodes.
Oh
easy.
yeah,
I would watch those. I'd watch
lots
Green
of Get Smart for me. I love Get Smart.
Get Smart I missed, which I feel bad. Like I think, yeah, I never got into to Get Smart. And Mel Brooks worked on that.
Yeah.
I did like it's you know what? I enjoyed Munsters more than Addams Family.
I think I did too as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's a little broader, and as a kid, that's what I was looking for. Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie were big ones for me.
Which one was the better one? Because one of them is like actually good. Mm-hmm. Because one of them is like kind of I think it's Bewitched.
I think Bewitched is widely
because
perceived
Bewitched
as
is the one where it's a metaphor for feeling uncomfortable with like women's roles changing.
Yes, that's right. It has something more to say.
Like it is there's like it's playing with attention in the United States at that moment.
Yeah.
Which is
I was also though like, as a big fan of I Dream of Jeannie, when Space Quest 6 introduced a character named Dr. Bellows, who was named after a character from I Dream of Jeannie, I was also very excited about that. So really Space Quest was just hitting all my Nick at Night interest that I needed there. I did have a crush on Samantha from Bewitched, just again to like run through my crushes.
But I mean, she was beautiful.
Yeah, obviously.
What do you want? Hey, are you going to tell me that you had a crush on Suzanne Plachette next? Get in line.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course. Yeah, more so than Barbara Eden. Like, if we're judging which one of these shows is better based on who I had a bigger crush on as like a 9-year-old, it's going to be Bewitched, yeah. But I mean, all of these things are better than the Beverly Hillbillies.
Did he have a crush on Rhoda?
No, Mary Tyler Moore.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll just run through Nick at Night's listings here. Let's see. I don't think I had a crush on anyone from Car 54. Where are you?
You sure?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think so. I mean,
were you a big Ethel fan? You saw Vivian Vance and you were just like, oh.
Nobody on Dragnet. I'm good there. That's the film version too. That includes
Dan Aykroyd
and Tom Hanks. Yeah. Let's see here. F Troop. I don't think. I mean, man, that sounds like a party. But I don't think I had a crush on anyone on F Troop. Flipper. Okay. No, I didn't have.
Lassie.
Yeah. Let's see. I never cared for Joni on Happy Days. That one's out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not every Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp, nobody there.
It was like on the Mary Tyler Moore show, your crush was on Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like, that show is still good. Have you watched an episode of the Mary Tyler Moore show recently?
Not super, but recently.
When I say recently, I mean within 20 years.
Yes.
Still good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Mary Tyler Moore, pretty funny. The Bob Newhart. Wait, which one is the 70s one? The Bob Newhart show or Newhart?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. The Bob Newhart show is very funny. I used to live near just a block south of. I used to live a block south of the exterior building.
Wow.
That was his home in the Bob Newhart show. And that was so impressive to my parents. That was very, and you want to know what?
That's impressive to me.
It looks, they kept the sign the same. They kept the sign the same on the building. So like you can easily, because I remember I was watching it with my parents once and I'm like, wait a minute. I know that road. Wait a minute. I know that address. That's a block north from where I live. And then like I look and I'm just like, I walk up the street one day and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the exterior of Bob Newhart's. It's not like the Family Matters house I think they knocked down. I don't think that's in Chicago anymore. But the Married with Children, Buckingham Fountain is still here. So there's still that.
Ben, I am so absolutely furious right now.
What's up?
Furious. I'm looking at the list of programs broadcast by Nick at Night on Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. Listen to this bullshit.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon?
Wait. Stopping the music to be a troll. What? Young Sheldon is that? Wait, Nick. Well, all right. Does Nick at Night still exist?
Apparently. Yes.
Because it's like TV channels don't exist anymore. Like you turn on like Comedy Central and it's like The Office all day and then they play like one episode of The Daily Show. You know?
No, but apparently it still exists. According to Wikipedia, it has Young Sheldon. That's not real. It says Nick at Night has The Office.
Hey, they play The Office every fucking place. Like,
yeah, I mean, no, I don't like any of this.
Here's the thing.
I'm so angry right now, Ben.
You could make a little bit of a better argument for because it's like Bush was president when The Office was on the air. At least for the first couple seasons. So it's like, okay, that was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Steve
like, all right, Nick at Night when I was a kid.
Bush wasn't president anymore.
What?
Steve Carell famously quit when Bush wasn't president. It's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to live in America anymore.
But all right. So it's like, okay, Nick at Night is on in the 90s. And I would watch it sometimes. And what would be on there? It would be like 60s and 70s stuff. So it was like 20 years.
I'm working through this too because like right now I'm looking and I see
Young Sheldon is recent.
Yes. I'm looking like Mad About You. And I'm like, in my heart, I think to myself, that's not old enough for Nick at Night, but I think it's like it is probably as old or older than all those shows that I was watching on Nick at Night.
Like Seinfeld could be on Nick at Night. And that wouldn't be a problem. Man. You could put Seinfeld right on there.
But this is all terrible. I'm not comfortable.
My parents
with one lick of this.
Now that when Seinfeld went on Netflix, my parents finally watched Seinfeld.
Oh, did they like it?
They loved it. Now and now my parents. This is starting last. Like I think this was 2 years ago, 2023. Like my mom like starts making like jokes about the soup Nazi.
Nice. I have to say,
I'm like, all right, congratulations.
Still funny.
My dad, this is funny. My dad, who worked an office job all the way through the entire 90s, like said to me, he's like, finally get what they were talking about.
Oh my god! It was so strange standing around the water cooler for all those years.
My dad would just be standing there with like a coffee at the the break room, and he'd be like, "Hey, has anyone gone to see a drum corps meet?" Because that's what my dad it was and is into. You know what a drum corps meet is?
No,
that's a marching band for adults. And
okay, cool.
And my dad loves that. So it's like, but he was probably like standing in, like, I mean, much like, I in the metaphorical break room is somebody that works from home. Like I'll bring up, it's like, hey, anybody like old Sierra Adventure games? Silence. So I guess I am.
Isn't that weird?
Anything else to say about Beverly Hills? Oh wait, no, hold on. No, your tangent. Continue.
No, we'll get back to Beverly Hillbillies. I was just gonna say, my parents did watch Seinfeld as it aired, and I am not joking to you, Ben. I don't think it is possible to talk to my mother still here in the year 2025 for more than 5 minutes without her making a Seinfeld reference.
I mean, that's me making a reference to 90s Simpsons episodes.
That's true. It's true.
Like,
I just wish it wasn't always the contest.
Oh, brother.
I mean, Beverly Hillbillies is awful. We didn't even talk about what the plot is. Like, Granny's kidnapped, and you have to make a magic elixir that'll make Jed super strong so he can rip the door off a bank vault and save her. It's so bad. It's just such a bad game. Yeah, that's what you're doing. I mean, here's the thing, gang. Capstone games aren't great. I don't think I can recommend either of these. Now, I haven't played any others. Maybe Homie P. Clown is very good, and it's also extremely racially sensitive. That's right. maybe An American Tale, The Computer Adventures of Fievel and His Friends. Maybe that little mouse gets up to no good and it's a really, adventurous romp. I don't know.
Those Don Bluth movies, they were traumatizing. You were a little old for them.
They seem like they might
all right.
go.
The Secret of Nim, you would have been a kid for, right?
Secret of Nim. Yeah. We watched that in like library at school.
I just remember watching The Land
That's
Before
upsetting.
Time.
And
that, like, all of those Don Bluth movies just start with like, somebody being separated from their parents, like the most terrifying thing in the world if you're like, 6.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know the song from American Tale, the Somewhere Out There song? Somewhere out there beneath the pale moonlight. That's that thing.
Yeah.
I can say that
you did drag to it as Cleopatra.
Close. No, my girlfriend, as a young middle schooler, we were in choir together, and while the choir for a concert sang that, she did a beautiful ballet number to it, along with our beautiful rendition of Somewhere Out There. And Ben, I don't want you to laugh at this because it's dead serious. This is important to me. This is a formative memory. I still remember it.
Huh?
So I want you to take this very seriously.
All right, I'm ready.
And just say, great job, Jess.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the story. She did ballet.
Oh.
It was beautiful. It was lovely.
I thought you were going to say something that was going to make me laugh.
She pooped her pants. No.
Swing.
All right, well, folks, that was our discussion of the Capstone Entertainment family of games, based around 2 games.
Another fine Capstone product.
Another
more
fine,
like Crapstone.
Whoa, Jess, that's inappropriate.
I'm sorry. They got a little blue.
Yeah,
they got a little blue.
Let's not get blue. Right. Well, you can send us a podcast email at but you can send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com. Shoot us an email and maybe we'll read it.
We'll definitely read it. Whether we read it on the air is the real question.
What's your favorite Capstone game? What's your favorite synergistic game? Was it Diablo Hellfire? That's my favorite synergistic game because that's the only one I've played and the rest look like junk. And I'm probably not going to go back and play front page. Were the front page sports games good? I mean, Interaction told me they were very good.
Yeah, if you read Interaction, you would certainly think yes. I only had experience with front page sports, football, and baseball. I guess, is that all they ever did? Were there ever other sports? I'm
making faces. You don't hear that, but I'm making faces.
The football game was the one I played was very buggy. Like it was just a mess. It couldn't really run well.
That's weird.
Neither one of them was as good as the average console football or baseball game. Like I mean, they were PC in a way that really held them back. Yeah, I can't recommend front page sports really. I loved any game with real rosters at the time, and at least they had that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, if you enjoyed front page sports, send us an email at questquestpodcast@gmail.com. And be sure to rate and review. It helps people find this podcast.
Wouldn't you want people to hear what we've been saying?
Wouldn't you want
people who aren't you
find out about all of the women of Nick at Night?
That's right.
Don't you want
which ones I have crushes on?
Yeah, we gotta have that. We gotta have that discussion. Frasier should be on Nick at Night. That would be fun.
Let's see. Let me check that.
Did he have a crush on Daphne?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Daphne Moon, affirmative. I did. Yeah. It looks like Frasier, according to this list, has not aired on Nick at Night. But you know what has?
What?
I'm looking for a good one here. I should have queued something up. God, I don't understand how young Sheldon is on this list.
That only just ended.
I know.
Yeah.
And not a moment too soon. Pinky and the Brain?
Nick at Night? That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
That's a cartoon. Cartoons aren't
I'm starting
on
to.
Nick at Night.
We need to get our Wikipedia man on this entry.
We gotta get our Wikipedia man in here. All right.
Yeah.
But until then, join us next week when we discuss our Wikipedia man and what he's been up to. See, it's not that bad right now. It's kind of cute.
Fun.
There it is.
It's like someone stepping on ducks.
Oh man, Ken Williams wants you to buy a sound blaster.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.